Okay, we ready? Well, good morning. I hope you're doing well. We are back in Enshrouded, and oh boy, since last time a lot has changed. The new update, Souls of the Frozen Frontier, has dropped, and there is a lot of stuff in this. A lot of stuff has changed, and as a result, work on the main house has officially begun. So, while we're working on that, we're going to take a look at a couple of the highlights that I noticed from the patch that particularly interested me. As you can see, we've made a secondary entrance down into the basement, which has turned into the crafting area. It's a little dim down here, but everything fits quite comfortably. And these glowing chests are medium magical chests, which allow you to craft things directly from them. So those are handy. Not the cheapest thing to make, but, well, I've made enough to give us a good start. Now let's start with the very first thing. There is a new playable area. It is called Albanese Summit. And it says, Emberville has just gotten much bigger. We're introducing the Albanese Summit, a vast and treacherous mountain biome expanding the north of Emberville, accessible through nomad highlands and kindle wastes. This new region demands your strongest and most skilled flameborn. So there is more formidable foes with fresh tactics, friendly wildlife eking out a living on the edge, new shroud routes to gain additional skill points, and uncover Emberville's tragic past through a series of new quests. They have also increased the maximum level cap to 35. There is dynamic weather now. And it says the first iteration of our weather system is finally there. Experience the living world as weather changes dynamically across Emberville, so prepare to get wet or find some shelter. High altitude areas are prone to snowfall and freezing temperatures, which can drain your body heat. Use specialized armor, special foods, and consumables crafted from recipes available through NPCs to survive the cold. And speaking of NPCs, the flame power has brought more souls back to life. Discover townfolk across Emberville, unlock their quests, and bring them home. Place new assistants in secondary bases, giving you full crafting functionality away from the main settlement. Townfolk now wander, sleep in beds, and engage with the Flameborn. Fresh cosmetic outfits are now available for the Flameborn. So, they are right about that. Let's see, where are... they must all be upstairs right now. So, there's our people. There's their beds. You can make and assign them beds. They do wander around. They will go downstairs. They have not gone down to the basement yet, but they will wander between this floor and downstairs. And we have a bed area for the girls and a bed area for the guys. And out here, should they really want to, they've got a balcony, which I put in. I've not put any furniture down on it yet. Over here is going to be their common room, which you can see they already have a bench and a stool they can sit at. Not nearly finished. In here, they have a bathroom, because why not? Nothing up top yet in the attic. But you can see there's Emily going down the stairs, and she's going to the kitchen. Now, she doesn't actually use anything yet, but the fact that she wanders around is really nice. And of course, down here we have her kettle. And with this, we can make some new food. So we have the grilled game, which is grilled mushroom, roasted azure russula, which is +3 to intelligent, which would be really useful for my character. Grilled lean meat, grilled wolf meat, grilled bird meat, which not even found that yet, and roasted corn cob, which is +2 to strength. So we have that. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. I really like the fact that they're moving around, and she's complaining because she wants a pet goat. And we're growing some nettle here, which still needs to grow. We'll go see if I have any more to plant. We do. We actually have quite a bit more to plant. So let's go ahead and do that. And the nettle is used in creating baits that you use to attract and tame animals. So currently you can tame some livestock, which we have not done yet. You can also tame dogs and cats. I hear tell that taming the cat is quite difficult, at least from the Steam forums that I've read. I wouldn't know. I have not gone out to tame a cat. I will have to ask Gus, because while I have not gone out to tame a cat, he has. Let's go into our little house here, close the door so the cat didn't escape. There's Kitty. And if you pet Kitty, you get a bonus called Paws Touch. I'm not sure what Paws Touch does. Let's see if I can find out. Status details. Paws Touch gives you plus 25 to health for a half hour. You feel warm and happy. Okay, that is a useful buff. Thank you, Kitty. Kitty's cute. Kitty wanders around and meows. Kitty also has there a bed. I could actually put a little more here. Kitty's got bowls of food around. Let's make sure they actually have food. Yeah, there's 7 food in there. There's 9 food in there. And 6. Okay, so Kitty's got plenty of food. You hear her meowing? You know what? I don't think that's a him. I think that's a her. Because Kitty reminds me of my cat, Carol. But yep, there's Kitty. It says, non-hostile animals can now be tamed and brought home to produce valuable resources, providing you give them some food and shelter. With shelter and enough food, in time your animal flock may grow. Find and tame new pets across Emberville to join you, and yes, you can pet them. So, as you can see, we pet the cat, and we got a boost. And we've read about the new biome. Okay, so apparently there was a cleaned bandage that used to remove poison. It says the item cleaned bandage no longer removes poison. Instead, there's now a dedicated antidote item that can be unlocked by collecting poison sacks. Later on in progression, there's also an improved version. All right, so let's see. Because I'm curious, go to journal, go to workshops. That sounds like an alchemist thing. Here. Poison sac, milk, and coal powder will make an antidote. Okay, so we have neither milk nor coal powder. I'm assuming milk comes from taming animals and milking them. Also need to figure out if I should make the mage or healer set. I'm wearing the wizard set, which kind of makes sense because she is a mix of healer and wizard. We can make rockets for fun. That's cute. I love this, that I can just go in here and look at the stuff that each character make. So go back to workshops. We could go to the farmer. We could see that she can now make vegetable puree. And vegetable puree gives dexterity. She can make chamomile tea, which is good for health regen and endurance. Oh, yes. We see we have the chamomile. I'm going to have to make a bunch of that right now. Chamomile and water. So let's see. That would be in here. And I just saw her. She was just in here. No, that wasn't her. That was Balthazar. All right, let's go find Emily. There she is. Hello, Emily. Hi, I would like to make a whole bunch of this. Can we do that? I think we can. Thank you very much. Actually, I should make twice as much of that and store some of it. I get the feeling we're going to be using a lot of it. Oh, I didn't have to go to her. She came in here. Hello. Shift, space, we'll craft 10 at a time. That's a lot easier than doing them singly. Stay kind. Is that what she said? She's so sweet. I thought I had some water to put away. I didn't think I used everything. So, +4 health regen, +2 to endurance, which definitely beats the dried berries I've been using by a ton. I'm still looking to make sure I don't have anything to put away. No, it doesn't look like it. All right. Now we have that. Which is going to be awesome. Especially considering we have been exploring Pike's Mead. That's been fun. There we go. So we put... Yeah, that can go in there. Because that's a healing thing. We got a chest just for healing stuff. And maybe I shouldn't be leaving the door wide open. Oh, and there are 6 survivors on the base. You've met 5 of them. They're in there. Number 6 has his own spot because, to be quite honest, the other survivors don't like him. And if I was to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure I trust him either. It's this guy here. And he can make things like the Rebelwood Bone Key. He's just called the Collector. And that will open up the Rebelwood Hollow Halls. He also makes Bone Channels, which is a staff thing. And that does blunt damage. You can also use them to make skull summoning vessels, which I have a few of those already, so I don't need to. Bone arrows, ectoplasm gems, and some crypt furniture. But we don't really trust him. I mean, he says things like that. Fade away like dust in the wind. And we did find him in the Hollow Halls. He seems to be a little sketchy. Like I said, don't trust him. Maybe we'll find out he's perfectly benign as we discover more of the story, but for now, he is very suspect. In fact, we're not even sure he's alive. All right, so let's see. Go ahead and we want to get some meat because we're going to need it if we're going to be taming things. Okay, so there's another crafting NPC out there. We have 6 of them. We go over to Journal. Clearly, there's that one right there. And then we can find souls of those who have perished. And if we look on the map, there's a place called Fenrick's Farm, which is actually not far from us. Oh, I will have to tell Gus about that. We'll have to go look for that one. But we can bring back people, and like the crafting NPCs, they will wander around the base. We will have to assign them their own beds. In fact, now that I've seen that, I might want to turn the old crafting hall into a bunkhouse. All right, that's a good idea. We'll turn that into a bunkhouse for any other NPC survivors we find. What else do we have? The Summoning Scepter menu has been reworked to allow the placement of crafting NPCs, assistant crafting NPCs, and villagers. It now offers the option to set the roaming range for placed NPCs. Oh, okay. So we can limit or expand how far they can roam. It also can be used to assign the selected NPC to a highlighted bed, which we've done. Everybody's got their own bed. New animations and voice lines for all NPCs. 6 different peaceful wildlife animals can be tamed, picked up, and placed into a player base. For every type of farm animal, there's now craftable food and bait. For more information, talk to Emily Frey, the farmer. For every type of farm animal, there are now sleeping and feeding props that can be crafted by Emily Frey. Farm animal feeding props are inventories that only accept the designated food item for the animal type the prop is for. When the animal is hungry and can reach the filled prop, it will automatically take food from the stack. Farm animals produce different types of resources at regular intervals as long as they find food and shelter when they need it. When there are 2 animals of the same kind within reach of each other, there's a chance they have offspring. Both parent animals need to have access to food and a sheltered bed, and a free bed must exist for the offspring. So if you want them to have babies, both parents have to be fed, both parents have to have beds, plus there needs to be an extra bed. There are 8 new pets added to the game. There are 5 different dogs and 3 cats. Quests lead the players to locations where pets can be found and tamed. Once tamed, they can be picked up and placed in a player base where they roam around and let themselves be petted. Taming difficulty can be set in the difficulty settings of the game world. So for those people who are complaining that the cat and the alchemist tower is impossible to tame, that's an option. Although, like I said, Gus did not have any complaints about being able to tame the cat. I mean, he went out while I was working on fixing up the crafting area, and before I knew it, he came back with the cat. I was like, oh, kitty! I was happy about that. Should villagers, animals, or pets have trouble navigating a base, it can help to place them again at a different position. If it would be best for some villagers to not leave their designated space, the roaming distance can be set to 0 meters for each NPC individually. There's also a new crafting tier with completely new resources for mining, harvesting, and looting. Good. I mean, not that I've found everything yet, but I'm glad to hear there's more. 9 new sets of armor. New crafting stations. New building block materials and new terrain materials. Numerous new furniture and decorative props. Numerous props that previously couldn't be crafted are now available, including some new crates, boxes, and sacks, carts, and farming tools, archery props, and combat dummies. King-size beds now have several slots for sleeping. Well, just 2 slots, sorry. That's literally what it says. That's funny. So there is so much stuff. There's technical improvements, UI, inventory, and text improvements. I mean, this list of changes reads like a small book, but I am loving some of the changes. Absolutely. Now, I did say I need to go out and do a little hunting because we need some game meat, at least some wolf meat. So before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and eat myself. Oh, we've already eaten. Okay. We're going to head back up to the very first base that we had. I mean, if you can't tell already, I am absolutely thrilled with the new update, including the fact that the update seems to have gotten rid of a problem that I was personally having, which was crashing in a certain area of the game. That no longer seems to be the case, so yay. It allowed us to progress once the crashing stopped, so I am absolutely thrilled with that. Oh, hi. Beehive. And why aren't we... Oh, because we have to equip it again. Okay. Before I got done howling, I had already killed it. That's funny. I have to say, the team that is creating this game is stellar. They have done a lot. And while I'm sure there's still plenty more to do. Oh, and if you notice, if you get close enough to the animals now, they've got those exclamation points. That means that they have been startled because they're not tame. And it looks like the bunny type creatures and the elk type creatures can both be tamed, as well as the creatures that look a little bit like deer. They can also be tamed. There seem to be a couple more beehives over here than there were. And a few more bees, too. Will you come down here? Thanks. And they did not want to get hit. I mean, I don't blame them, but still, I want your honey. So get out of my way. That one is always a pain in the backside to get. I'm going to leave it. Let's see, we've got 3 of those so far. And there's another one over there. And while we're over here, we might as well check this chest to see if there's anything good. Just some flint arrows. I don't even need those. I don't think we're even using flint arrows anymore. Gus is using, like, copper arrows and poison arrows. And I'm just using the scrap arrows because I mainly use my arrows for, well, as you could tell, just knocking honey out of trees, and occasionally when I want to help Gus with some ranged damage. I feel like they've changed this area up a little bit too. Yeah, shut up. Fine, I might as well take the bones, though we hardly need them right now. Oh no, maybe not as much as I thought. Excuse me. Oh, let's see. See if I can get any. Yep, a couple scrap metal, because I used up a bit of scrap making those special chests. This loop is pretty easy. It looks like it's getting to be nighttime. But I wanted to come back to Long Keep to see. Take the bandages, but I definitely don't need wooden arrows. But I didn't need the flint ones. I sure don't need the wooden ones. Wonder. I doubt it. I'm gonna go check anyway. Ouch, Tanker. Thank you for playing. Goodbye. Oh, and it's raining. So right now it seems like rain is the main weather. Oh, nothing in here. And other than making you wet, I'm really not sure what it does yet. I imagine there is probably a slightly negative effect for being wet, but I don't know what it is. Like I said, I don't really need the flint arrows, but I want it to scrap arrow. And since it's nighttime, I'll look around for the fireflies too. If I can find any. It's like... Oh, wait. Is that fireflies? Yep, it is. We've used up a lot of fireflies making things like the wisp bottles that we can use in dark spaces to light things without having to hold a torch. Very useful. I highly recommend making some, even if it does take a little extra work to get the fireflies. They last for 5 minutes. They don't take a ton of materials. It's a little time to gather them. And did I mention they're very useful? They are. I'm not using one right now because I actually want it to be dark enough to see the fireflies so I can collect them. But if you use one, you get a nice little brightness boost around you for, like I said, 5 minutes. Very good when you're in dark tombs or in the shroud at night. Oh, good. Now I got a pet. A pet skeleton, which is going to go after anything on 4 legs or 2, except for me. There's still a lot of red shroud over that way. You see it? Very evil looking. Part of why I love this game. It's very grim, it's very dark, but in some ways, it's also very hopeful. How many? 16 of them so far. Not bad, not bad. Well, I didn't really want you to kill everything that moved literally, but I also can't stop you from doing it either. We don't really get to control what that thing does. It just kind of does what it wants. But they are very useful. Oh, that's right. There's something I want to find out. So we need to find some fell. See if there are any fell around here. Because I have plotted some certain skills, and I want to see how well this stuff actually works. I'll take that health potion. Don't need any of the other stuff. Oh, there's more. Wow. People must have really been complaining about not being able to find honey, because I've seen a lot more honey than I have in the past here. That's a torch. We don't need it. Flint arrows. We don't need them. Alright, let's go down here because, well, there's usually fell down here. While we're at it, we'll collect these. Because I used up quite a number of shroud liquids to make those chests too. Gotta replace it. Gotta replace it before Gus notices. Not really. He would. Now, let's see what happens. Yep. Oh my goodness. That worked so well. And I'll go ahead and break that. That worked so well. Let's try that again. Yep. Look at. Oh, wow. That. Now, I'm sure that's not going to be as effective on higher level enemies, but wow. Yes, I love it. Oh boy. What are we getting rid of? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I want that. The Azure Zula, which are used to make our mana potions for spellcasters, and make the. I did not want that either. I have it. And used to make the roasted Razula, which are good for an intelligence boost, which again, useful for her. All right, so I've tested that. It was very handy. We're going to get out of the shroud, head back to base, and then I'll show you what I was so excited about. Home sweet home. So if we go under skills, you know, there's Beast. We have Beastmaster, Ranger, Assassin, Survivor, Athlete, Barbarian, Warrior, Tank, Battle Mage, Healer, and Wizard, Trickster. So depending on your playstyle, you can go with a ranged build, a ranged assassin build. You can go more athletic and melee damage. Now, I have gone towards the mage end. So, I've put a lot of points into the healer line, which means I do pretty good healing. I also have the water aura, which emits a healing aura, so anyone within 15 meters is being healed 2 health points for every 2 points of my intelligence. My intelligence is at 8. So I, by default, do 8 points of healing every tick, which is about a little over a second. But I think when I checked last night while we were out wandering around, I was doing about 12 a tick. So I do some pretty good healing just by default. And once I get this, which is going to take another 5 skill points, I'll get Martyr. And it says, when you're killed by an enemy, all allies within 50 meters will heal 50% of their maximum health. They'll also receive a final blessing buff, increasing their maximum health points by 100 per 15 minutes. Which will be really useful considering I do die a lot. And I might as well go inside instead of standing out in the rain like an idiot. Go stand by the fire, because now I did notice that standing by a fire will draw you off a whole lot faster, so that's normal for survival games and very handy. Go back to skills, because we were looking at these. I've got that little necromancer skill, which gives me a very small chance of summoning a friendly skull companion. Now, over here in the wizard column, which I've put some points into. I did not know that that was a thing. I'm going to have to put 2 points in that. Okay. We have the arsonist line, which, as you can tell, I'm slotted very heavily into. Fire damage is increased by 10%. Fire damage is increased by an additional 20%. Then we have Radiant Aura. All fell foes within 10 meters take 1 fire damage per intelligence per second. That would be 8 damage per second, because my intelligence is 8. But then we have Sun Aura, which now increases that damage to 16, because it's an additional 1 fire damage per intelligence per second. And, well, I just tested it out, and it works. It's very handy. So I have 56 skill points in use. I don't have any available. I did slot over here in survival a little bit for the endurance, the sprint speed, and the shroud time. So you definitely, no matter what you're slotting and the skills, you definitely want to spend a little time over here, because the first one gives you an increase of 2 minutes for your shroud time. And then the second one increases your shroud time by 5 minutes. So I actually can go into the shroud for like 15 minutes at this point, which is very useful. Now, I know Gus has this one. It says 30% chance to spawn stamina orb when defeating an enemy with a bow, because he's very much into the bow, although he also does a little tanking. But yeah, I would say I like this skill tree. I kind of wish I could scroll out so I could see more of it without dragging. You could see you have your Holy Trinity: tank, DPS, and heal. And I'm kind of leaning a little into a mixture of healing and DPS. And Gus is leaning into ranged, so DPS with some tanking. And I think I saw something. I think it was over here. Your max. Oh, wow. Wait a second. What? I didn't see that one before. Oh, I'm going to have to work on that one next. That's going to be so useful. So, we have Arcane Deflection. On successful parry, gain 20 mana. An intelligence point, which I can definitely use for the healing. Unity, damaging enemies with wand, has a 24% chance to recover 4% mana. Spirit and Intelligent. Spirit increases maximum mana by 20 per... Yeah, I want that. I definitely want that intelligence point. Life Essence. Your maximum health is increased 5-fold by your intelligence attribute. Oh, yeah. And then I will gain 1 intelligence point for every 2 levels of the flame. So, I'm on my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 9. So I need another 19 skill points, which is definitely going to take a little work. But I get the feeling I'm definitely going to want to finish out that portion of Battle Mage. Yeah, I really do like the skill tree system, because it really lets you mix in that. Although you do kind of want to specialize somewhat. And in my case, I'm specializing in the magic tree. All right, I think that's it. We have looked at some of the new updates. Hello, Balthazar. Hello, Emily. They are fantastic. I really do love the NPCs moving around the base. I love the cat. I can't wait to get a dog next, and neither can the hunter. She keeps complaining that she'd like a companion to go hunting with, and can I please get her a dog? And of course, Emily wants some farm animals. A lot of quests, and we didn't even get into the new stuff we can build. But we will do that next time. Until then, bye for now.